Hello, everybody, and welcome to Enchanted Chatter. This week, I'm super excited to be joined with Brittany from the Muses podcast, the Lorcana Muses podcast. I'm glad I can talk today. I'm so excited to have you here. I have listened to your podcast myself for quite some time, so I'm really excited to finally get to meet you virtually and chat with you.
I'm super excited to be here. Love cozy chats and girl vibes and all of that thing. But super always excited to talk about Lorcana. I do it a lot. As someone who also hosts, a talking platform for this game, I can never run out of things to talk about.
That's good because we have lots to talk about, which is exciting. I feel like we're in that weird zone of like the meta still matters because we have one more big event this weekend, but also everybody's just ready for the next set. And I think rotations. I think this time we're not scared about it. I don't know. How do you feel?
I'm actually I'm excited for it. There are definitely cards that I'm going to miss. But I don't think it was as painful as people were expecting it to be the last time. And since it's the second time, I feel like it's old hat, right? We're used to it now, and it's something that we're going to be expecting moving forward. I think people are less dramatic this time about it. I did enjoy the drama, and I did help bring some of that drama. Had to feed into that a little bit.
I can
But
respect it. I was really sad about rotations because I'm a Steel Song girly through and through. I love my Cinderella. Um and I was sad for a while there, but I have enjoyed we had a nice Amethyst Steel moment in there. Blurple got its time to shine after rotations, and now we're in Dog's World.
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I was a big Mufasa player, so I totally get it. Like I was definitely had a deck that I was really like honed in on, and I feel like I had played really well, and it's what I brought to the last LCQ, so it was near and dear to my heart. But I definitely was happy to see where it was going to take me afterward, because I was definitely using that deck as like my crutch. um and it was a very fun deck to continue to play, and I liked tweaking it as things went on, but it was definitely something where I was like, oh yeah, maybe rotation is helpful to like move things along.
Yeah. I have a message in chat to turn my mic up, so I'm going to ask chat if my mic sounds better now because I think I adjusted it slightly and it should be better. And I also got closer to it like I'm supposed to be.
See, I was hearing you fine, but
Okay.
also we never know where everybody's at with that, and I can move mine closer to my mouth
You
too,
sound good
if
on
that
my
works.
end, so
Okay.
we'll let chat know. Or
Yeah,
we'll see what they say.
I don't see chat. So if
You're totally fine. So, um as like I we kind of joined right before we went live, so I didn't get to totally prep you, and I don't care sharing this with the world as well. Um, but I am a big component of like making my guests comfortable because a lot of women that I have on tend to not typically go live on the internet. And so my oh, I am really quiet apparently. We'll figure that out here. And we'll try this and see if that makes it any better. And
you you do sound louder to me.
okay, hey, there we go. Um, so I don't share chat with my guests. Obviously,
Oh.
if you want to hop on to Discord or not Discord, Twitch or YouTube, I am all for it. But a lot of the times, just getting to have a conversation between you and I or whoever I'm on with and popping in with a few guests, like comments from chat every once in a while is good. But I found that it makes people feel more comfortable and like they're just hanging out and vibing.
That's totally fair. I've done my podcast for 2 years now, so I feel like my voice is out
You're
there all the time.
mhm. You're old hat at this. This is nothing for you.
Yeah, the only part of it that's different is the video part because our podcast is almost exclusively audio. Like we have a few video things here and there, and occasionally we have the Instagram videos, but otherwise, like there's a lot of still frame pictures on our Instagram and then just audio. We're
Which
close to 100 episodes, so.
I am very impressed by your background as somebody who's saying like, "Oh, we don't ever use video." Your background's gorgeous. You could hop
Oh, thank
on
you.
video at any point. You have all the banners, which I am very jealous. I have Tinkerbell, and I love your like artist signed photos as well. Those are great. Oh, I didn't even see the one in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, I'm hiding between, and I have more of them. I just haven't put them up because I got behind on framing them.
Framing them, yeah.
Yeah, and then they would have to go down, and I had to line everything up, and it takes time, and so like these are all level, and the only problem is they're not in ink order, and that bothers some people when they come to my house.
Um,
So.
truthfully, like I now looking at it, I know that. But I'm like,
Mhm.
"Oh no, I like the order you put them in."
And that's why I did because I put them in order of like decks that, like my husband was he played Steel Song for a little bit and I liked Emerald Steel together. And then we have the Emerald Sapphire and then Blurple and then Ruby Amethyst. Like, so it's just there, right? In terms of, and then I played Amber Ruby. So, and they're on the ends. So then they kind of frame it all together.
I love that. So I'm
So that's where my
curious.
thoughts went.
I think they're very valid thoughts, and I also a little bit of me would kind of enjoy upsetting people by the fact that like you didn't put it in order. They're like, "Why didn't you do that?" And there's a pretty solid reason behind it, but I like to mess with people a little like that sometimes.
I'd be like, no, they are in order. What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? I don't know. So I'm curious to learn a little bit more about your background in what kind of made you decide to start playing Lorcana and then going into content creation as well.
So I played Magic with my husband, like right after the big C scared everybody. And so we got back out in the world and started playing games and things like that. And I didn't really enjoy the scene that the Magic community had. It's
It's a
not
pretty
necessarily
common
the.
trend.
Yeah, I enjoyed the game and it was very complicated, but I enjoyed it as a whole. And but it wasn't really something that I wanted to spend an inordinate amount of time with. And so we heard about this Disney game, and unfortunately, we couldn't play right when it started, both because of just where our lives were at. So we started like a week and a half before set two came out.
Okay.
Because by the time we were like, oh, we want to play, well, product was non-existent, and then we were just busy right when it released. So we started like a week and a half before set two, and then drove around a bunch. Had a bunch of friends that were excited to play the game too. And so we did some coordinating on how to get to the product and all of that. Did get lots of set two and moved our way from there. And then, because I started with a starter deck, right? I started with a first chapter starter deck, Emerald Ruby
Man,
starter deck.
I I honestly I don't remember the first starter deck I went to league with. I know I started with a starter deck and I got my butt kicked. So I started in Into the Inklands. Similar, just like life was going on and wasn't able to start playing until later. Um, and I sat down and my opponent had like foiled out with Enchanted's Steel Song deck. And I was like, I love this. This is gorgeous. You just kicked my butt. How
You're
do
like,
I
"What
make
did you
this
do and how did I do it?" Yeah.
I was like, how do I make this not happen going forward? What is this deck?
Yeah, I'm a very competitive person, and so, like, anything where I was gonna be able to go and play a game, like, I've been a lifelong, board game fan. I was never a video gamer or anything like that, but my family was really into playing intense board games and things like that, so I love the strategy of gameplay, and so I was excited to just do that as a hobby. Um, and it and Disney is one of my absolute favorite things ever. So it being Disney was the main pull for me. The art was just like this Mickey piece right here is one of my favorite pieces of Disney
It's
art.
amazing.
And I was like, I need all these pins, like the Brave Little Tailor pins. I have all the promos of him from this, not like the really, really
I
I
was
don't have
about
the
to
gold.
say,
I
do you
don't
have
have the
the
golden
original?
one. No, I don't have the original. But I do have a few of them. I you can't see, but I have a case over there, and
Oh,
then I
I
have two
love
empty
that.
cases below it. But yeah, so we have a case over there that has a
The
bunch
ambition
of
case, right?
yeah, yes. So there is lots of enchanteds in there, and my husband's invited to the ball, and promos from DLCs, and um, but also the different versions of like promos from different events and things like that. But it's also yeah, all of the set champs promos are in there. Well, actually, I don't think we have not all of them. There's a few set trips promos in there. We started rotating them into just a binder eventually because it starts to become
It starts to become,
what
yeah.
shinies get to be on display. And then the two display cases below it, we're trying to put all the things that are not cards in there. So like
Okay.
we're gonna put the badges from DLCs in there. We got an ornament from a listener. We got so like we have stickers from other content creators and things, and so we want to put those in those. And I just haven't had time because all I do is play Lorcana. Um,
I can relate. All apparently though, all I do is play Lorcana and go to Disney World this year.
oh,
Which, a real
jealous
struggle.
about that. It's such a struggle.
Someone's
Yeah,
gotta do it though.
I want to do that. That sounds amazing. Not right now. Right now sounds miserable, but
Um, I will admit, so I was there from the 1st through the 5th. It was real hot, real hot.
yeah.
Uh, I am typically like a rope drop or like right around rope drop to close kind of park girl. I couldn't make it half a day. By midday, I was like, okay, and let's go back to the pool now. Thank you very much. And I need to take a nap.
I feel like I want to be that kind of Disney girl again. And like, but I know where my body is at now, and I don't know if I could handle it.
I am still impressed. So earlier this year, I ran the princess weekend races, and I did it in combination as like a family trip with my best friend and her 3 kids and husband and my husband, and it was a blast. But that meant that I woke up every day at like 2 a.m. and I went to bed race days around 9. So I did leave my friends at the park, but I did the races, the parks, and woke up every day. And I am still confused on how I survived that because it
Wow,
is
impressive.
exhausting.
I am thoroughly impressed by that. That's crazy. I don't run. I have every intention of wanting to learn to run. Like the Run Disney scene seems amazing.
It's amazing. Don't be afraid. The Jeff Galloway method is the best way. It's very funny. I was just talking to someone this week about this. Someone asked in one of the Lorcana discords, Melissa is who used to be on TFM. She is a big runner as well with me, and we've done different Run Disney races. And she and I both swear by the Jeff Galloway method because neither of us would define ourselves as runners.
Okay. Yeah.
And so the run walk method is the way to go. It's a great way to get yourself up to running a long distance or even just a 5K. And even if you're a more experienced runner, it's actually a really good way to take time off of your races. So
That's
it's the way, and it
all
does
right.
make it seem a lot more manageable when you only have to run for like 45 seconds and then you get to walk for a little bit.
No, that sounds awesome. It's an aspiration of mine. I just don't know when I want to have that be a focus. Because right now I have the team, because I'm the team captain for our competitive team, and as well as doing the podcast. And then we're planning on traveling a lot for the upcoming competitive season. So I don't think a run Disney circuit is in my at least next year's plans. But in the future, yes, I do want to get more fit, and I actually said this on the podcast a while ago, and I've had a few comments here and there. Where is the workout? Where is the fitness set? Because I said I was going to start a workout series on our Instagram, and then life has just not given me time to make that series on our Instagram because I
I
was going to
mean,
do.
if you want someone to be accountable with you because I need that accountability too. I'm happy we can get a Lorcana fitness group going and
You
keep
know
each
what?
other
That sounds
accountable.
awesome. Yeah, just be like, all right, and now we're doing video time and we're all gonna make ourselves look like fools while doing Disney content and fitness.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
there's I mean, you
yeah,
got to
I
do
want to
what you
kind
got
of
to
do
do.
it like Goofy's Sky School, where it's just like the most ridiculous, like over the top things, but actually working out too. That's the overarching idea.
I
Because
love that idea. That's
I'm
fantastic.
not a very fit individual, and I know I'm just gonna look ridiculous the whole time, so I'm just gonna lean into it and make it goofy.
That I mean, movement is movement. I
Yes.
tell my friends this all the time when they're giving themselves a hard time about, "Oh, I'm not like fit." I'm like, "If you're getting at like active, that's what matters."
Yeah. So it's just like one of those things where I'm like, yes, I still want to do it. It's still on the list of things to do. It just hasn't happened yet. Just like we have an upcoming tournament that the podcast is hosting, and it was like, oh, I wanted to do it in like February, and it's happening in August, but it's
Hey,
happening.
I feel that so in the Dallas Fort Worth area, we have a few members of my team that host the Diet Coke Invitational, and I kind of help support them. They do 90% of the work. I just answer questions and give advice. So I have all the respect in the world for anyone who puts on and organizes large events because it really is a lot of work and um it really helps the community grow, and I cannot give enough praise for everyone who puts on these great events in the community.
This one will be a small one because I leave the big CCQ or like 5K events to our friend Zach, who runs Top Cut Games, which is a local um, group. But like this will just be a 1K at our local game store that I just am running. So I won't take like a big event. I'm not taking that on for myself. We help, the podcast helps and our team helps support the larger events by like doing the casting or setting up the podcasting and all the social media aspects of it. Um, but all of the larger organization and the financial side of it, I don't. I was like, I know where my limits are, at least right now. I'm not saying I couldn't because I organize events for my actual job all the time. And so I think it was something where I'm like, I want that to not be the biggest part of being part of the Lorcana community is hosting events, but I'll host the smaller ones and then do the social content and things like that.
That's fair. So I am gonna bring us a little bit back. Well, we've made our way back on topic of Lorcana from fitness to Lorcana. What would you say is your favorite deck to play right now? And as we go into rotations, what are you looking at?
Um, so my favorite ink to play is Ruby, and post rotation, that was hard to say, right? Like, because it definitely lost a lot of its identity. Um, but I feel like this last set brought a lot of my love of Ruby back into the forefront, because I really love the supers and all of that package, and I really like the boost Scrooge.
That boost
Um,
Scrooge is my favorite to play, my least favorite to play against.
Yeah, so I would say Ruby. I really like Ruby Amber together. I like playing the discount characters into the bigger Ruby challenging bodies. Um, I like to call it my big boy discount decks. And
I love
so
that because for indie I played Steel Song, but I had an odd tech card in there, which was Prince Eric, just a vanilla 6/7, and I proceeded to call my deck I like big butts and I cannot lie.
I love it. Yeah, I the Judy support card, I call her Judy with the booty. And so
Yes.
so I totally get it. Um but I have played a lot of like Ruby Amethyst, as because it's a little bit more consistent than the Amber Ruby deck. And so I played that a bunch. And last set I played Amber Amethyst. I like Amethyst a lot too, so I feel like my second favorite ink would be Amethyst. Just it's so consistent. I love drawing cards. Gonna miss Elsa a lot. She's fantastic. Isis is not the same. Now, Isis works really well when you're playing a superhero deck, though, because she's not a hero, she's a super. So when you're playing the supers deck, you can draw off at her Mr. Incredible when she challenges. So I spent the grand majority of this set playing a Ruby Amethyst supers deck, and that was just so fun.
So I haven't played that variant of the um Ruby Amethyst build this set, but I have been towards the end of this set playing Ruby Amethyst and absolutely loving it. And I think for this last like 2 weeks of League, I want to adjust it to be the Supers version because that does look very fun. But you mentioned and now granted, you did have my agenda, so you did see it, but you mentioned liking the Amber Ruby. So I'm curious, and I will transition us. Um
Ta-da!
I have been seeing this Red Panda songs build that both cheats out characters and um has some of the like really neat new mechanics for this set. And I
Yes.
am so excited to try this out. Now, I will be fully transparent. I haven't tested this build at all yet. Obviously, not even with, you know, proxies out there. So I don't know if this is like where it's going to
Okay.
stay.
So you sent it to me and I did practice with it. And so because I was like, oh yeah, no, we have to try it. Because it is right up my alley. And I will say it needs to be tweaked. It's
Okay.
not it doesn't work well enough against evasives. So
Hmm.
some of the tweaks I would make instead of I would take out the surfer stitch, which is sad, but
It
I would take it out and then I would put in the Ruby Ariel that when you play a song, a chosen character gains evasive, because that was the struggle I was seeing with some of the play testing was this with the was problems with evasives. So that would
okay.
be one change I would make. And then I wouldn't necessarily the look at this family with the amount of songs in it doesn't quite work as well. So I'd probably
That
take that
that
one
feels
out.
feels right.
Yeah. So I'd probably take that one out and put in the Dellas and grab your bow so that you can hit more characters. The Della is short, makes it, and then it makes the Lilo as an option. The Lilo, that's the wrong character, I think. But
Oh, it
The
makes
boo.
the
The boo.
headless or yeah, the headless
The Headless
horseman
Horseman
also.
and the Boo work
Mhm.
better if you have the Dellas in there too.
Okay, that
So
makes
just
total
doing that
sense.
quick analysis now, numbers wise, I'm not sure where anything that goes yet, but that just looking at that, and as much as I love the shift of the Mulan, as someone who's played this color combination a lot, shift Mulan doesn't always work because of the amount of warded characters we have that are going to be being played out, and there's nothing in here to exert other characters. So that
Yeah.
would be my only issue with the Mulan. um Luckily that whole package is inkable, so you can keep it in there for the right matches and then ink it in other situations. But that's my analysis of that deck. I'm very excited to try it out though.
I love that you tried it out. This is like so much fun. So a lot of the times, at least in recent history of like my guests, I have had some like different guests that play a little bit more casually. So talking on the more competitive side is a nice like shift in episodes because I haven't gotten to dive in on some of our episodes recently on like meta deck building and kind of like when you play test how you make those tweaks. And I think that the way you just articulated that was wonderful and makes it very digestible and not as scary, because I think sometimes deck building can be very intimidating. And it can be as simple as you take a deck that you find online that you're like, oh, this is going to be fun. Like, this looks like it would be fun to play it a few times, play it against different decks, and then see where you need to adjust it slightly and just slowly start making those adjustments and keep playing it.
Yeah, no, so that's my favorite way to do it is like I like to build from scratch often, but it's not always the best choice competitively. So you take things that you know that people are seeing work, and then you change it to your own play style, or you change it to the decks that you're seeing often. And I just noticed right away because I played uh, with teammates and I played with proxies and things like that, where I was like, what am I struggling against the most with this deck already? And I had only played 4 games with it and I struggled with evasive. So I was like, well, we have to find the answers. And the main answer was to find things that would help you with evasives, even without adding a bunch of evasive characters,
Mhm.
which there are a good amount of evasives in Ruby. But I wanted to still lean into the song package. So that aerial, I feel like, is that great bridge.
I agree. And there are so many fun decks I think that could be very viable this set. And as somebody who definitely loves to play competitive and is looking for that deck that is going to win me games at league and is going to win me games at larger events. Oh, don't worry. We have dogs in this house. You don't have
I'm
to. I
sorry.
love I love the face of, "Oh no, the dogs are barking." No, this is a dog
Okay.
dog
I
safe
did forget to
place.
warn you that I have 2 big dogs, and it's about the time that people are getting home from work now. And so it will be the
Nope.
time.
You are completely fine. I have 2 golden doodles. And luckily my husband just got home from a work trip and he got home right before we went live. Otherwise, I would have had the exact same thing
Okay.
happening while we were
Yeah.
live. So it totally happens to the best of us. And I'm a dog lover, so I would never be upset about hearing dogs say hello.
Luckily, the cats are both sleeping, so they won't be trying to like crawl through the back. So, because they do,
uh,
they like this ledge over here.
oh, cats love a good ledge.
Yeah.
So what I was talking about was about the different what I would call theme decks. Like a lot of what we're seeing in this kind of set is the ability to make competitive theme decks. And I think that that's really interesting and a great aspect for the game from not only a competitive perspective but also from like a more casual perspective and just like a Disney fan looking at this game for the first time, because I think that's a really awesome part about rotations is it's an opportunity for new players to come in at a much more manageable state of the game.
Yeah, no, I've been saying this for a while on our podcast and how much I really love theme decks, but I'm always sad because I can't play them as much as I would want because I want to play at a competitive level. And I kind of just said, screw it, and I'll just play it anyway this set with the supers deck,
I mean, the
and did
Supers
not.
deck is
It
pretty
does.
good.
It's pretty good. It's not good against Blurple, and Blurple is a really big, like, our Arizona community just loves Blurple, and I mean, as so many people do. But it just, there's so much more removal in that deck than this one. Um, so that would be, and then the ward is the worst.
It
Um,
is the worst, which is also why I had liked with the Ruby Amethyst build that I was on, some of the cards that I was playing in it got around Ward by making my opponent choose versus me. So but Ward is really just rude. And some of
it
those
is.
big characters that have Ward in that Blurple deck that are they're staying. They're not going anywhere.
Merryweather
So
is not going anywhere, and then we got more of them coming.
mhm. So besides the Red Panda song deck, what other decks are you excited for or thinking about trying with this new set coming out?
Um, so I really need to lock in and try to figure that out because I'm planning on going to the LCQ in August. And it's not like an extensive amount of time to prepare for such a high level event. Um, I I feel comfortable with like Ruby Amethyst. I feel comfortable like just in terms of how many reps I have overall. I feel comfortable with Blurple. But there are so many key pieces of those decks that are leaving that I feel like can be replaced. But I don't know if that makes them as competitive or as viable moving forward. I would love to try out some of the new team up cards because I think that they're going to change a lot of the competitive scene. Like the Sully and Boo card looks very exciting. I
Also
really,
this like the temporary shift.
yeah,
I'm
that's
very intrigued because the fact that you essentially can shift in the red panda on turn 3, take something out, hop it back to hand, and then like your exerted shift target has no damage.
yeah.
And that really messes with math. Anything that messes with math in this game, I feel like is good.
Yeah, as someone who's played a lot of the Cheshire Cat, like I am a big fan of math in this game. And so I'm excited to see a lot of these changes and temporary shift or duo shift and things like the I don't know if the Mickey Mini deck is going to actually be something that people play.
I'm so
I
intrigued
love
by
the
it. I
idea
love,
of it,
yes.
but it's not something I've practiced yet or played against in practice. So I don't know how it actually looks. I love decks that try to do combo decks like that, but they aren't always as consistent. And that's what we look for when we're playing competitive decks is like consistency and then widespread um, like use, right? You want it to
Mhm.
be viable against lots of different types of decks.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if that deck is as viable against a variety of decks.
Yeah, I will be interested over the next few weeks. Obviously, we have one more event before we have the release of set 3 or set 13, Attack of the Vine, which sounds just every time
Attack
that's how
of the Vine.
I like can remember the name of the set so well just because of the silliness of how they constantly say it on the Lorecast. So we have Sharp Gaming this weekend in Arkansas, and then the next weekend we have the release, and we even have a CCQ right on Saturday after the release. Set 13's legal.
Crazy. Wild.
So I'm very intrigued to see what the meta shakes out to because it's going to shake out instantly, which I'm trying to think of like if we've seen that before with like a super competitive event happening like the weekend of. I know we've seen it like a
We've
week or two
seen it like a
after.
week, like the following week. I don't remember if we've seen one opening weekend that was was that set legal, right?
Yeah.
And that seems kind of crazy to me. Like as a premier play event on opening weekend, like what do you do? Like how do you make sure you have the cards you want to play? How close are how your deck's going to be to their optimal level kind of thing. So I'm thoroughly impressed by people that are going to be able to get what they need in time for that event. Like it releases on Friday and the CCQ is on Saturday. They're going to be driving around a lot of stores.
Well, right. And not only because I just had the realization. So we have the Saturday event in Tampa and then Sunday, which this might be the first ever Sunday CCQ, only Sunday, not Saturday and Sunday,
Yeah, that's
um, in Mississippi. So we have two major events, and I am not playing in either. I will be in Florida. So in theory, I have the opportunity to pop over to Tampa for that event, but I just don't think I would be prepared for it at this point. Um, which a lot of people would kind of be excited for that in the sense of they could come with anything with rotations and the new set coming out. It does make for you can get some really spicy decks in there that succeed because people won't even know how to play into them yet. So it will be, I think, a very interesting stream to watch,
no,
particularly
I'm
after dogs.
yeah. No, I think toys will be a very big deck because most of that deck is not rotating. And
Yes.
so as people kind of had toy dogs this set, like they kind of used both. And I think that toys is going to be at least a good portion of the meta share coming forward um, because that deck still works, right? And
Hmm.
then I think the Lilo and Stitch shift really made the Amber Steel aggro deck show that it's probably going to have some legs again. Um, and then I think people are going to hard counter both of those decks and try to play some mid-range control decks. I know that's where I kind of land is I like a mid-range control type of deck um, so that I can put those aggro players and make them cry.
I also am like to sit somewhere in the mid range or to control because um I struggle with like I've tried dogs and my brain just I know I can't turn sideways yet, but I want to turn sideways yet. And then also I don't like not having multiple outs. And I think the variant of dogs that we're kind of sitting at the end of this set is a little bit more playable in my brain. But I am definitely it's not my cup of tea.
No, I know that I've practiced it a few times just so that I know how to play it so I can better play against it. I feel like that's
Yes.
always a good strategy. But it's one of those things where it's not my deck either. It doesn't have enough removal options from me. Like, I don't want Under the Sea to be my only out, Adela's Undersea combo, boosting up a tramp to shoot across the board. So those are things. Now the Eleanor toward the end of the set definitely helped, I think.
Yeah, Eleanor
But
as well as the Queen.
mhm.
I've definitely liked both of those cards in the deck.
Yeah. So I it's still not my deck. I probably won't play the toys, the Emerald Amber toys. I won't say never. I used to be a like I will never play steel. Like I definitely before rotation was definitely like my song and dance all the time. I was just always, harping about how much I disliked steel, but I've played steel a bunch since then. And so I was like, I kind of threw down the bit and I was like, I guess it's actually a viable link to play, but I really tried to lean in and do the bit where I was just like, it's steel, can't do that. And I
Um,
really didn't feel like I should play it, but I've played it a bunch.
it's very funny that you say that because I am a notorious Sapphire hater. You cannot get me to play that game, to play those cards. I just can't do it. I can't do items. the closest I got is I played Blurple for a little bit, and I can play it well. Like it plays into my playstyle. Um, okay, but I don't like it.
Mhm. Yeah, no, when I was playing Blurple, I was playing less ramp and just playing more, tempo.
Mhm.
And so it felt a little bit more natural to the play style I like to play. And but yeah, no, I totally understand. Sapphire is probably unless it's Blurple, I don't really enjoy it with the other colors.
Yeah.
My husband is he was a really, really big Sapphire Steel player. So I've played against it so much that I don't enjoy playing it.
That's very funny because many of my friends that have played against me and my Amber Steel deck feel the same way.
Oh no, Steel Song is probably still my most hated deck that I've ever played against because I do not enjoy it.
So, one of the things you mentioned earlier on was about the fact that you are your team's captain. I'd love to hear a little bit more about your role as team captain and what you enjoy, and maybe what's a little bit hard about that role.
So first and foremost, so we have a mixed team. So it's not just a competitive team, it's a competitive and casual team. So that's a big balance, right? Of trying to find like community is our biggest backbone and it's our main um tenant is building our community. So like that's where we lean and that's what I always try to make my decisions from. And I have a leadership team that helps me too. But it's basically just like making sure that we're balancing the love of the game, using integrity, and then helping each other and supporting each other. And I have a very large team. We have about 20 players, so it's a it's
I can relate. Our the team that I'm on, the Incredibles, is both competitive and casual, and all of those pillars that you just mentioned are very much what we lean on. Like our goal is to grow the community here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and
Mhm.
in we also have a branch in the Portland and area. So it truly is our goal to be good community members, not only even if we are casual or competitive players, we want to promote more people playing the game because that's what we love is both the community and the game.
Yeah. So like that's our main tenant. And then then it's just, balancing people have lots of opinions and they have, wide range of personalities and I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not. And then just trying to emphasize like putting a schedule for, when we do play testing. Like and we have like everybody like we use Discord often to coordinate all of our team activities and things like that. So we have in-person play testing, we have play testing with proxies, we have webcam play testing and things like that to help each other. And then we have like deck building together and things like that to help each other make the best choices when it comes to cards. And I will say I lean heavily on them for making good deck choices good. And I feel like my favorite part about having a team is being able to learn from each other and analyze gameplay to improve. And so that's part of why we wanted it. But the reason why we started the team was to just have a community place where we could all just feel comfortable and play together. And I wanted someone wanted a group of us that were already planning on like traveling to events and things to have a community and a set of awesome jerseys like to wear together and things like that.
I can respect that. I love our jerseys. I have made this season's and also am in the process of making our jerseys for next season. So that's always my favorite part. Because as a girly, I like to look cute, and that might be one of my top priorities outside of winning.
Yeah, no, we were really lucky because like Liam from the Lumiteers was like he really likes our jerseys and so does Rebecca Quest. And so like they've mentioned it on, stream before, and I was like, "That's crazy," because you can see us from across the room because our jerseys are very bright. I almost wore it today, and I was like, "Maybe I'll wear something else," but,
Oh, you
um
next time you should, because hopefully I always say you're always welcome back. I haven't had a guest that I don't want to welcome back yet.
I mean, you pick well, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, the women in this community are fantastic, so it's easy to always want to have them back. I keep saying that like one of my goals this year was to make sure that I had more guests on regularly, and I've been doing pretty well. I know you probably laughed when I reached out to you a few months ago and was like, "Are you available in July?"
Honestly, I'm so glad that you reached out again because I had put it on the calendar, but it was like toward the bottom of the calendar. And so I hadn't quite thought about it in a while. And I definitely hadn't put anything else on the calendar at the time because if I had looked at the day, I would have seen it was full.
Mhm.
But I had completely forgotten.
It's
And
and
I was
that's
like,
totally fair. I was just like, "No, I'm gonna, like, actually hit my goal," and, like, the biggest part of the show is I love just chatting about Lorcana, chatting about the meta and what other women are doing in the community, but I always want to make sure that I'm spotlighting some of the other amazing content creators and just women who are competitively playing, doing art in the community. There's just, like, there is so much good out there that I think having a place to highlight that is really important. So I was really excited when you said yes to joining us.
yeah, I love doing other like content with other creators because I don't do it very often. I've done a few other ones and they're always awesome. I love spotlighting other pieces of the community, and just growing everybody's platforms, etc. As someone who's doing it, for 2 years now, it's kind of crazy. Like it feels easy to talk about now. I don't really get that nervous anymore, and, that was definitely not the case when we first started. Um, and so that's my favorite part. I feel like I've gained so much confidence just with this game. That's probably my like, I love the game and I love the community, but for myself personally, doing the content for this game has really, helped me grow on a personal level, um, because I just didn't have a creative outlet outside of my job and didn't feel confident doing things outside of, I was a teacher when I first started this game. And then this game actually gave me the confidence to leave that profession because I felt like I had more skills that I built up, talking to community, building up communities, hosting events and things like that. That which led me into I work in construction management now, and so it's a very very big shift, but very events and people and communication focused, which I feel like the podcast helped me with that, and just having people in our community have confidence in me, that helped me grow confidence in myself. So I'm so thoroughly grateful for the community that Lorcana is, because I feel like myself again. And so like that's where
I love hearing that. That's fantastic because as somebody who also started a new job at the start of this year, it's definitely it helps with not only like mental health and personal health, and I feel like life in general when you're enjoying what you're doing, it definitely makes everything else feel a lot better. And teaching is hard. My sister is a teacher, so I have the most like I have so much respect for teachers, but I also understand wanting to kind of shift gears and move into something that just is a little bit more in your wheelhouse and what you're looking to get out of the work because we work so much.
yeah. No, I did it for 8 years and I loved it, but it was also very draining. And it was just something that I felt like I wasn't being fulfilled with anymore. And construction management is such a different thing. Like it's such a weird way to say it, but it is so people focused, um, that I feel like it's similar to teaching in that regard, because it
That
is very people focused. But it's also like I feel respected as a professional. So that's my biggest ask, right?
Well, that's awesome, and I love hearing that, and I'm super excited that the community was able to kind of help you grow into that. We are nearing, I try to be respectful of everybody watching and my guests, to keeping the show around an hour, but I wanted to do a fun little rapid fire section. So I'm gonna rapid fire some questions, and they're not trick questions by any means. So I'm sure we'll have some fun with them. What is your favorite Disney park snack?
Probably a Dole Whip.
Good choice. Mine would be the ice cream bars that are shaped like Mickey. Those I have
Those
to have
those
one every
those
time
are
I go.
also delicious. I feel like because Disneyland is my home Disney, right? Living in Arizona, it's so close. It's always warm, doesn't matter what time of year you're there. So the Dole Whip is just always refreshing. So,
What is your favorite card to play?
probably Super Goof.
Okay.
Um, Super, I love that. I love that card. I have been asking for a reprint of that card because it's a but a reprint of the card with Super as a tagline because I think he would work
Yeah,
really
that
well in
makes
the Super stack.
sense.
Um, he was before his time, and I love the lore gain element of Ruby, and I feel like that is a key part that they've kept in the identity of Ruby and Rush as well. So I feel like it would still work well. This is my I always am like advocating for this card.
I love that. What card are you most excited for out of Attack of the Vine?
Oh, I mean, I really want the iconic Beauty and the Beast, just because
I
Bella's
feel
my
that in
favorite
my soul.
character, and I got my nails done early, to start manifesting
Mm,
opening one, so
I respect
I
that.
yeah, so
I
probably
have
that
yet to
card
pull
because
an
I have to
iconic,
say that
so
one.
I'm also manifesting it as well.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm manifesting that card. I also think the card mechanic looks really fun. So that'll be one, at least from a thematic standpoint, a Beauty and the Beast deck would be really fun. From a competitive standpoint, I really am excited for the panda, right? The singing panda. The shift singing panda who gains you 3 lore when you sing a song. She looks awesome.
She does look pretty great. And then what events will you be attending the rest of this season? And I guess into next
So
season,
yeah,
since
yeah.
we have a
So
few.
I don't know what the CCQ schedule looks like post August. I haven't really looked into it that far, but I definitely am playing in the LCQ and going to California for Continentals. And so I will be there the whole weekend. And so I'll be there Thursday going to Disneyland, and then Friday playing in the LCQ, and then hopefully Saturday playing at the Continentals event. Um, but either way, I will be doing content. We're actually going to do our 100th episode live from the event.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. That's super fun. Well, I'm excited because I am also going to LCQ and playing in it. So hopefully that means I will find you and we can take a picture and meet in person.
That would be awesome. Yeah, and then past that, I'm not sure, but I'm planning on traveling a lot for this next upcoming season, and probably put out like where I'm traveling to on our Instagram. But my husband and I we're like, okay, what do we actually want to do? And we're it has to see like regionally where all of these events are going to be too.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this next season because with we're doubling CCQs in North America, so that goes up to I think 64 now.
I think
Um
between CCQs and DLCs, it'll be 64 altogether.
oh, okay. I did not see that specification, but you are probably correct. I'm very excited. So I know for sure I get to attend D23 this year along with Last Chance qualifiers. So I'm hoping we haven't had tickets go on sale for the CCQ at D23, but I'm hoping to score one of those. And that'll also be my first time at D23. So if anyone watching has helpful tips and tricks for D23, please send them my way. I will be taking all of them. I'm a little scared of that. I've been to many cons in my life, but that one feels like it's a little bit different.
Yeah, I've heard really good things, and I wish you all the luck for getting those tickets. I have no idea how that process works, but it
No
would
one
be so
does.
yeah. Like, I know that they already pushed it back because it was supposed to be yesterday. Um,
Twice. So it was supposed to be last week. Then they pushed it back to this week, and now it's next week, hopefully. So fingers crossed. But I want to thank you again so much for joining me tonight. And I'd love to give you a chance to shout out your podcast and where people can find you.
so first and foremost, it's a podcast. It's an audio podcast. So everywhere you can listen to a podcast, you can pretty much listen to us. We do post everything through Buzzsprout. So that's the link that I normally share out through Discords and everything. I put them in pretty much every Lorcana Discord known to man as the link as you share things out. We are also pretty active on our Instagram, which would be the social media that we are on the most, which would be the Lorcana Muses or at Lorcana Muses on there. And then I'm really bad at remembering the names of all of my socials, which is kind of embarrassing as
No,
someone who
it's not
makes content all the
embarrassing
time.
because, of course, you can't have the same one on every platform. It has to be slightly
No,
different.
of course. Like, and as someone who did it like pretty early, it's also frustrating. You're just like, what do you mean I can't have the same name everywhere?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
ours, like when we made our Twitter, it was too long to use the same thing as Instagram. So then we had to shorten it and I had to pick something random and I was left to my own devices. So I definitely
Yeah.
understand that. I know that I put in the show notes the Buzzsprout link so that everybody could have that. And then at some point in chat, I also tossed out your Instagram where people can find you. So hopefully they have all the ways
Yes.
to
And we're
get to
on
you.
all the other ones too. Facebook automatically does everything that Instagram gets. And
Mhm.
then on X, we're Lorcana Muses Pod, not the, just Lorcana Muses Pod on X. And then we are also on Blue Sky, but I think we're the Lorcana Muses.
Yeah, see, it's got to be slightly different. I feel you.
Yeah. So, and that one I'm on almost never. So I
Yeah,
was like,
I also need to get better about both Twitter and some of those others.
and
I'm
we
very good at
technically
it.
have a YouTube page, but again, it, we don't do a lot of long form content. So
Yeah, it tracks. It's all good. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in and thank you again, Brittany, for joining. And I will see everybody next week. Bye, friends.
bye.